So folks, um, the official streaming starts in about 10 minutes, a bit earlier than expected because I have stuff to do here in Antwerp. But now I started it right now just to see if everything works, because last time we had some issues. So I wanted to make sure that you can hear me and you can see me. Please let me know in the comment system in the live chat if you can hear me and see me. Just say something so that I'm sure that this is working. Folks, let me know in the comment system. Audio is very clear, thanks, that's the most important stuff. Video quality is just only 720p because I don't have the right cable here, so it's, but that's not so important. But so you know. How this works, in a couple of minutes from now, I will just tell you what I know for sure, the rumors that I'm still working on, and at the end of this you can ask me anything you want. So keep in mind that only subscribers can send questions, so if you think that's something you want to do, you can subscribe right now. And we are only waiting a couple of minutes to see that more people are coming online, because I said that the live stream would start in 15 minutes from now. So some people might be pissed off if I start too early, but I wanted to be sure that you can see me and hear me. So, okay, thank you. 260 people online. Yeah, well, you're all excited, yeah. Just before we start to talk about cameras, just so you know where I am, I'm in Antwerp right now. This is my house. I lived here for 10 years before moving to Italy. And so now we are here to fix some stuff and see friends and family. So it's a very busy time, and so busy that I'm having quite a headache right now. So I actually should take the pills to suffer less. But in those days, I was busy with the family, the friends, but also with the sources, because I got a very large amount of rumors, mostly to the contact box that you see on sonyalpha.com. And of course, more than half of it was not real, or maybe people had good intention, folk that would know something, but it was very kind from you to send me a ton of messages. And it took me quite some time to figure out what's more likely to happen on November 19, what's less likely. And today I can tell you for sure at least about 2 products coming on November 19. And the rest I'm still working on. I should get more details the next days. It will be easier for me to work on the details of the rumor. So still 6-7 minutes to go. So we'll take a couple of private questions if you want before we talk about the cameras, because somebody is already asking me something. So let's check out your questions. Yeah, which country do I live? So I now live officially in Italy, which is in a place called Merano, which is in South Tyrol. You know, the Dolomites, you know probably where they are. I see a lot of Instagrammers and also professionals there very often. For example, DJI, Panasonic, Sony officially made some shootings on the Dolomites because they're very iconic, and I live in that area, so I see them all those tourists and photographers coming. So I mostly live in Merano, but I lived in Antwerp for 10 years, and actually I wanted to stay and live in Antwerp, but my wife and my kids prefer to live in Merano, where I have some parents, the Italian part, and they love it there, so we moved, and now we are back just to fix stuff in the house that we have to fix now. Because if you leave the house empty, then after some years stuff breaks by itself. So that's why you see all that house. You see also here the paintings, and here my 2 lenses. I have with me the 50mm Foic and the 1.2, and also that very curious new Viltrox 28mm pancake lens, which I still have to test properly, but I had no time. Too much family and friends here in Antwerp. So how many houses do I have? This house I own with my wife. In Merano I rent, and we are still, thinking if we love to keep that house in Antwerp because we presume that when the kids are bigger we come back, but it's expensive to keep it, so we don't know yet if we can keep it. So, but in Italy we rent because the prices are way too high. It's not difficult to separate false rumors from speculation and real rumors. The rumor work is very complicated because even trusted sources can communicate in the wrong way some info, or get some info, then this info changes. This will be something that I will talk about you specifically today on one of the products that will be announced. And also sometimes rumors, trusted sources get busted. So it's not an easy work. It's like it's not black and white. Whenever I get a message from a news source, I don't post it as up on Sony Rumors or on this channel. I try to triple check with other sources. The main work I do is to try to gather solid info from trusted sources and then use that info as a blueprint to test the other info I receive from other sources. So that's how it works. So when I share rumors from trusted sources, I think 95% of the time they are right, but things still can change. Like, for example, the announcement dates changed a couple of times this year for Sony, and this I know is not a fault from the sources, but yeah, it's not so straightforward, as you probably have noticed by now if you follow me. No, that answer I can already give you. There is no Sony beginner gear coming now. Merano, German Meran, because it's South Tyrol, so you speak German and Italian, so you can check it out. Okay, thanks. Okay, let me know if you have issues opening the website. I have a sort of filter to not get spammed and so forth on the websites, but this filter is very strong sometimes, and I'm thinking about removing it. But I once was hacked 5 years ago on sonyalpha.com, and it was such a horror story that now I have that strong Sucuri filter, but I'm thinking about removing them. What's your favorite restaurant in Italy? It's what's the name again? Sorry, I have a blackout, sorry. In Venice, Il Paradiso Perduto. In Venice is the city I love most. Even if people think it's too touristic, it's wrong. 80% of the city is totally not touristic. And my wife's best friend is from Venice, so we're often there. And so we're taking all the walks and making all the bars and restaurants that tourists will never go and be there. And Il Paradiso Perduto is a place that is really like a bit fucked up and still not completely following the rules. So there are kittens going around and jumping on your table, and it's very old style. You have to go there, Paradiso Perduto. But they close it a couple of times because of law issues, so it keeps opening and closing, so you have to check it out before. So still a couple of... What's your haircut routine? It's pointless. I'm over 50 years old. I tried everything. My hair is so thin, I cannot get a style out of it. I'm actually thinking sometimes I should just be bald and that's it. Because I'm so bothered. Every time I wake up, the hair is a mess. I try to fix it. Now I'm trying to let it grow, just to make it easier maybe with the style, but there's no hope. Sorry, folks. That I should make a separate YouTube channel documentary about that. But what do you use for hosting your website? I have my own hosting service in the Netherlands with friends of mine. They're very nice people. Top secret. No, I haven't been to Japan, but I plan to be in Japan. So still 3-4 minutes to go until I start to talk about cameras. I'm only now reading personal questions before I start talking about what's coming from Sony. Oh, it will be all clickbait, Adam. So just unsubscribe and follow official news. I'm only doing clickbait, of course. There might be something Panasonic related soon. I will talk about this. I got some hints about some kind of announcement, but I don't know if it's like a firmware update announcement or something like this. But there's also rumors about a new camera coming in very early 2025. No, I didn't hear anything about 35 GM2. I never had any problem with Sony. I have to be fair, they never had contacted me, and that's fine. So I appreciate that they let me do my job, and I try to do as much as possible, at least from my perspective, to have a nice time so that people know more about the products. I have no intention to damage in any way Sony. So I wouldn't, for example, post non-related camera rumors, but internal fight rumors or whatever stuff that is personal. I would never post that. Okay, sorry, what do you say? Let's start. A couple of, okay, still 6 minutes left until we officially can do the stream. Trump or Harris? You US guys are going mental on this, so that's my opinion, is that you should really try to rethink the way you're doing politics, and not be so bipolar and so black and white. It's kind of strange, but at least I'm a European, so I don't know, of course, a lot, but I have American friends and talking a lot about what's going on. Just try to, whatever happens at the election day, just try to have some peace afterwards. That would be nice. But yeah. Okay. What's your personal favorite camera? So I would still take 2-3 questions, then we start talking about the announcement. The Mamiya 7, by far. Mamiya 7 medium format camera, wonderful camera. The one that I would never sell. I would sell my Leica MP film, 35mm film camera, or any other digital camera, no problem, but the Mamiya 7, no. Pizza or spaghetti? Pizza. Favorite camera is Mamiya 7 and with 65mm lens. Okay. Yeah, if Trump wins, he is gonna put a tariff on Sony cameras. If they're produced but they're produced in Thailand, so there should be, should be no problem. But if they would be produced in China, there's also a Sony China factory. If they would ship out those cameras to the US, probably, maybe there would be some kind of tariffs. Are you prime lens? Definitely, I'm definitely a prime lens guy as a photographer, as a hiker, a mountain biker. I'm a travel zoom guy. I have the 28 200mm lens to shoot my tours and landscape, sorry. Trumpscape, sorry, because I was reading a comment, Trump 2024. Oh God. Again, we can have some fun about politics, but we are not taking any position on Sony Alpha rumors and so forth. Let's keep it a place for everybody, peaceful, okay? No, I'm not considering it. PC or Mac? I have a Mac because I'm lazy to switch, not because I have any ideological thinking about PC or Mac, but I was born with Final Cut. I studied cinema and editing, and always been used to work with Final Cut and Macs, and so that's why I'm sticking with Macs, because I'm lazy. Okay, folks, what do you say? Okay, let's see. Yeah, no more wars. Okay, so folks, before I start, a reminder that only subscribers send questions. Don't ask anything yet, because first for 10 minutes I will talk you into the details of the announcement. So just be patient with your questions, because I will probably miss them anyway. follow what I have to say. And after that, when I'm done, I will tell you when I will take questions, and you can have your time with me and ask me anything you want, okay? So folks, to 550 people online, what do you say? Shall we start? Is it okay for you? Let's see if the autofocus was not on my face. Now it's better. Begin, okay. Okay, then I will start. Let's see if I have everything. Hi folks, I have very good news because as you know, Sony will have a major alpha announcement on November 19, and I finally have some rumors that I can share today that are 100% reliable, so I'm 100% sure that what I'm going to tell you today is right. And before we start, keep in mind that there will be now 3 kinds of rumors coming in this video. The first part is trusted info from trusted sources, so you can hold me totally accountable on it, and if I'm wrong, you can be mad at me for me and come and visit me in Italy and be really, that will pay you a couple of beers as a, yeah, because probably will be so upset with me. But anyway, the first part will be very reliable. Then I have a second part of rumors where I think they're likely to be true, but I'm still awaiting confirmation. So in that case, keep in mind, things could still change a tiny bit, okay? And then I will also add a couple of crazy rumors I got from unreliable news sources. So definitely, just for the sake of discussion, I will put them at the end of this video. So yeah, you never know that Sony one day will decide to surprise us all and announce something that I didn't know was coming, okay? So before that, let's see how we can start the video. Let's see. So folks, I've gotten 5 confirmed info from trusted sources, so now I will walk you through the info that is totally confirmed, okay? The first info is that the announcement will happen on November 19 at 2 p.m. London time, and you can follow the event live on sonyalpha.com. I will also talk about the new products on the YouTube channel. The second info that I'm sharing today is that there will be multiple new products. That's what I've been told by sources. I have confirmation on 2 products. The first one for sure is the new Sony A1 flagship camera. So the first 100% confirmed info is that we will get a new flagship model from Sony. This will be the Sony A1 II. I will talk about the specs later. They still have to be confirmed, but I will definitely talk about those specs. The next info is that we will get a new Sony 28-70mm 2.0 full frame lens. So we are getting the first 2.0 zoom lens from Sony. I told you at the beginning of the year that I was getting info about a 24-70 2.0. Sony decided to go for a 28-70, probably to keep the size really down, but this is confirmed. There will be a 28-70mm 2.0 GM lens. The next info I got is that the Sony a7 IV is 100% sure to be announced the first half of 2025. Many were actually wondering if on November 19 we would get the Sony a7 IV, and a couple of trusted sources told me Sony was very openly telling them the Sony a7 IV is coming likely the first half, definitely in 2025, very likely first half of 2025. So after the Sony A1 II, I think it's likely the next camera will be the Sony A7 V. November 19, Sony is A1 II, the 28-70 2.0 GM. There are some rumors about other unconfirmed products that we will chat about later, but those 2 I know for sure they're coming, and the Sony A7 V will not be announced November 19. It will be coming the first half of 2025. So now we'll walk you through the unconfirmed Sony A1 II specs. So I think they are likely to be true, but I still am awaiting confirmation. The first info that I shared already in my previous video is that it will use the same Sony A1 50 megapixel sensor. So definitely no global shutter. I still am awaiting full confirmation on this. Let's say 85-90% certain, so I would be very surprised if this would not be the case. But the Sony A1 II will most likely have the same Sony A1 50 megapixel sensor. The reason why they don't go for global shutter is because of the small image quality penalty, and it's hard to sell a flagship camera that has an image quality that is a tiny bit worse than the predecessor. So global shutter will not be coming on Sony A1 II, more likely on something like a FX3 II or another FX camera in 2025-2026. I think definitely those cameras have a high chance to feature the same Sony A9 III 24 megapixel global shutter. The second info I got is that it will have the same Sony A9 III body. And in this case, I want to give you some context. The same source that told me a month ago that the Sony A1 II was coming end of November said that the Sony A1 II would keep the same Sony A1 body. Now he contacted me back and said, "No, sorry, it will feature the same Sony A9 III body." The reason why he thought it would have the Sony A1 body is that he saw actually a prototype of the Sony A1 II with the Sony A1 body a couple of months ago. They were testing this body. He claims, I don't know if he's telling me the truth, but he's saying that he thought that it would keep the same body, but at the end they will go for the Sony A9 III body, and I think that's great news because this body is really great. So I'm very happy to see this. The differences between the Sony A1 and A9 III body are the grip, the button feeling, so I'm very happy about this. Okay, so basically the Sony A1 II will look like a Sony A9 III, and I made a Photoshop image showing you how the Sony A1 II will most likely look. This is not the real Sony A1 II, but I think the Sony A1 II will exactly look like this image. Let's move on. It will have also the new AI chip, have a faster frame rate and faster autofocus. I'm awaiting full specs confirmation on the frame rate and autofocus performance, so wait out a couple of days, I will give you the full details. It will be more expensive than the current Sony A1, and this is actually a bad news because the Sony A1 now sells for $6,500. I was hoping the Sony A1 price would go down to make room for the Sony A1 II. According to the sources, if they're right, the Sony A1 II will be priced above the Sony A1. They didn't give me any exact pricing info. My fear, let's assume the worst case scenario, is that it has to cost at least $1,000 more to be justified. If it costs only $500 more than the Sony A1 would definitely not make any sense anymore. Just speculating, that might be around $7,500 or even $8,000. But that's my speculation, so don't be too mad now because maybe I'm wrong on this, but it should be more expensive than the Sony A1, and that's probably the only bad news when it comes to the camera. Then it's still to be confirmed is if it uses the new 4.0 standard. I think it will definitely have that standard that allows for double the writing and read speed compared to the predecessor, to the CF Express 2.0 standard. As you know, current cards, they have a max read and write speed of 900 megabytes per second, and now it will double up to 1800, so that's really great for the Sony A1 II. It will also have pre-capture C2PA support for content authentication and also be available in 2025 only. So this will be mirror announcement of the Sony A9 III. The Sony A9 III was announced nearly exactly 1 year ago, but then it was shipped out only 3 months after, 2-3 months after. The same will happen for the same Sony A1 II. It will not be immediately available, most likely in stock in January, February 2025. So if you pre-order it, you will not get it probably for Christmas time. You will have to wait it out, and yeah, but that's what Sony does lately with nearly all cameras. Now, there will be also new 2.0 full frame zoom, and this will likely be the 28-70mm 2.0 GM. From some people I heard that this lens will be more compact than the Canon, so lighter, more compact, and be priced around $3,000 just like the Canon. So this is the only part of the rumor that changed in the past month. Beginning of the year, I was getting rumors about a new 24-70 2.0 from trusted sources, so I was thinking that definitely this lens is coming. Might be that in the meantime Sony decided to go for the more compact model, the 28-70 2.0 instead of the 24-70 2.0. I have to ask sources if indeed Sony had both lenses ready to go, and then they decided for compact size reason to go for the 28-70, but we will definitely get the 28-70 2.0. This will be Sony's first 2.0 zoom. I don't know, maybe down the line we will get the 70-180 2.0 or something like this, but this is just my speculation. But it will cost around $3,000, so just like the Canon, but more compact and lighter. That's what I've been told. So I can't wait to get the first image of this lens, because I think if it's really more compact than the Canon, this could become a hot seller. But let me know, hot seller in sense a lens loved by professionals. It will be too expensive for the masses, but let me know what you think about this lens. Then let's move on. Now we talk about a couple of totally wild rumors, which means they're probably BS because I got them from news sources. There are some sources saying there will be a new wildlife lens, and some speculated that this might be a new 100-400mm GM2. Would make sense, but I repeat, in this case, I really don't know if this is going to happen. The A12, the 28-70 are going to happen. This lens, I don't know. Among the very crazy rumors, I got one only new source saying that there will be a new RX1 R3, but I think this is completely BS. So I'm only telling you that one guy told me that this camera is coming for around $3,000, 3,000 euro. I give it 0.1% chance that this is going to happen. But I wanted to let you know that I also got those kind of rumors from not my trusted sources, but from other sources that claim to have seen that camera and so forth. I would love this rumor to be true, but really don't hold me accountable on that, because my bet is that we are not getting it. I would love to have sort of old Steve Jobs moment where he says, there's one more thing, and we're getting that RX1 R3. And Sony never did it, but again, this is me again pushing on Sony, trying to make it, but I don't think this is going to happen, folks. So let's move on. Basically, those are the confirmed information. That's the confirmed information I got from trusted sources. Announcement November 19 at 2 p.m. London time. We will get multiple new products. Two products, we know exactly what's coming, the Sony A12 and the 28-70 2.0. There will be definitely no Sony A7 V, which is coming only in 2025. So folks, that was the exclusive info I can share today. I have to be honest with you, I know a tiny bit more that I'm sharing right now, but that extra information I got, I'm keeping for myself so that I can double, triple check what I'm getting from other sources so that I don't get misled in any direction. So you can definitely expect me in the next days to get into the more details of the Sony A12 and 28-70 2.0. By the way, if you happen to stumble upon some info on the web or you hear something, you can contact me using the email address and also that contact box, which is anonymous. Use a nickname so that I can recognize you in future, so I can post your rumors faster if I know that you are reliable. And yeah, that's all I can share today. I know you want to know the specs of the Sony A12. I want to quickly discuss my opinion on the Sony A12. This will be more like the Sony A7R V was for the Sony A7R IV, so an evolution and not a revolution. This is something I expected. On paper, it doesn't sound exciting, also because of the pricing. So I understand that some people now in the comment system will go like, oh, this is crazy from Sony and blah, 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 blah. But keep in mind, we still don't know the details of the camera. And in my opinion, the devil is always in the details. So if they, from what I heard, they fixed every part of the camera that where they got a feedback that this wasn't good enough. So Sony made a diligent work to improve every aspect of the Sony A1, and it will be the best flagship camera compared to Canon Nikon in the sum of its parts. There will still be some parts where the Nikon is better. Of course, the Nikon Z9 will still be a lot cheaper. So the Sony A1 II has to really be a lot better than the Nikon Z9. But from what I heard, the sum of the parts really make it a great evolution, not a revolution, but something really that is highly reliable and gives you a ton of performance. But it's now my job to gather that information and in the next days and weeks give you, ahead of the announcement November 19, the exact detailed specs, and I'm working on it. And I have many sources now that I'm in contact with, so I think I will get some information in the next days. I don't know if I will be able to get some images of the camera and the lens, hopefully, but that depends on many things. Definitely, I'm very interested in see the images of the lens, because the Sony A1 II will just look like the A9 III, so no surprises there. Regarding the lens, I'm really curious, because this could be, if it's really compact, it could be really something interesting that Sony made. Okay. Folks, this is about it what I can share today. So again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming leaks and videos. And now I will move on to your questions, so you can ask me anything and I will try to answer as best as I can. There are many comments right now, so I will only start from the last one, because if I scroll back, there are too many questions. So if you want your questions answered, please ask them now. Will there be a new display on the Sony A1 II? That's something I don't know right now. Absolutely no specs have been announced. Yeah, part of the 50 megapixel sensor, Sony A9 III body, AI chip, and so forth. Yeah, detailed specs have not been announced. Keep in mind, I'm the first to share that info, so this is something nobody else told you. And I know some of the specs, but I'm using it to double, triple check and get more information. So that's why I cannot release everything I know right now. The A7S IV and FX3 no, I got no information at all. There was a Sony manager that recently said that the Sony A7S III and is following the normal release cycle, and actually he's right. The A7S III was announced 5 years after the A7S II, and now the A7S III is 4 years old. So actually, if it follows the same release cycle, it will be announced in 2025. But I got no confirmation on that. Yeah, let's see if Canon is rumored to announce a new high-resolution camera that could compete with the Sony A1 II. So yeah, we see if the Sony A1 II will be good enough to beat the competition, particularly I think the Nikon Z9, because like I told you, it's nearly half the price, with 5,000, not half, 1/3 less of the price. So the Sony A1 II really has to give us some extras to consider it over the Nikon Z9 if you're not already heavily invested in a system. I didn't get yet confirmation about the frame rates on the Sony A1 II. I know the frames per second when it comes to photography, taking images will be faster. So I assume that it can do 8K 60p instead of 8K 30p, something like this. But this is something that I can disclose in a couple of days from now. The 28 pancake lens was a false rumor. It appears so. I got this image from a news source. Of course, people can Photoshop it. It's rare that they do it. But I got no confirmation in the meantime. All I know, there will be multiple product announcements on November 19. I got the info about 2 products. I don't know if there will be a third product like the 140 GM2 or that 28. Let's see. But for now, I only have info about the Sony A1 II and the 2870. And will there be more innovation in video or photo specs? From what I heard, in more like photo, but also in videos. But photo definitely with class-leading autofocus, faster frame rate, and so forth. So even the image quality should be slightly improved, even if it uses the same sensor. But we're talking about like a minuscule improvement in terms of image quality. I think the Sony version will be much better than the Canon 2870mm because it will be more compact, and I think it will be optically superior. So, and having the same price of the Canon, I think this is really a great new lens from Sony. German company, yeah, he teased the Sony a7 IV, but he's wrong. There is no Sony a7 IV coming, so he probably just made a joke. So, but I saw that, but I knew that the Sony a7 IV was not coming, so I ignored it. No, I don't think. I think Sony gem lenses are expensive, but not overly too expensive. That's my opinion. And 10% improvement, yeah. They are more compact, they're optically superior, you have better autofocus, so I think Sony really nails it when it comes to lenses, while we can criticize some of the camera pricing and features. Yes, that's my opinion at least. It will be, from what I heard, it will be the same AI chip of the A9 III. I still don't have a confirmation on that. I think it's very likely that Sony A1 II can do 8K 60p, but I got some indication, but no final confirmation. But I would bet that this is becoming true. I got an update on the FX69 successor because this was allegedly ready to be launched in September, and then Sony delayed it. I've heard again it will be announced, but now in early 2025. But this will be a separate video, and hopefully this time there will be no delay with the Sony announcement. What about regarding telephoto prime lenses, I only heard some wild rumors about another telephoto lens, a wildlife lens coming that might be announced on November 19 along the 2870 and the Sony A1 II, but this is totally not confirmed, and no trusted source told me yet this is going to happen, but there are a couple of people actually that told me about this. So I don't know, I hope the next days that I will get an answer. So maybe it's a 140 GM2, or maybe it's really a prime like a Nikon 800 6.3, but this is yeah, I didn't get any info yet. The Sony a7 IV, yeah, you were thrilled. Yeah, I know the Sony a7 IV is a camera for the masses, while the Sony A1 II is not. So, but the only thing, like I told at the beginning of this video, that I will have to cheer you up is this will be probably the next alpha full-frame camera coming from Sony. So wait a couple of months, then I will start to talk about this camera, and then hopefully the announcement will happen really early in 2025. Yeah, the RX lineup, RX10 lineup is gone for good from what I heard, so there will be no new model coming out. I didn't get info about the FX3. I hope that finally we will have the FX3 too in 2025. My dream would be that it has the same Sony A9 III global shutter sensor. Let's read your last questions, then I will stop the live stream. Yes, Mark. I have no info about the new 90mm macro or 24-105. No info about a teleconverter. Okay, folks, to wrap it up, I gave you some solid info that on November 19 we're getting the A1 II and the 2870 GM 2.0. That's a start. I know you're waiting for the detailed specs and possible leaks. I'm working on it, but just keep in mind I'm the only one sharing reliable rumors about Sony worldwide. What you read on other websites are copy-paste of my rumors, often without linking back to my website or to this channel, and or just made up rumors to get some clicks. That's something I don't do. Sometimes I post unconfirmed rumors because I don't know if they could be true or not, but not with intention to just fool you. I tell you exactly this is unconfirmed, unreliable, so you know it. But That's for sure coming on November 19th, those two products. I told you a likely indication what the Sony A1 II will be: 50 megapixel, improved faster autofocus frame rate. Also the Sony A9 III body, AI chip. It will be more expensive than the Sony A1. This is the bad news of today. But this is all that I can give you now. I promise you that I will give you more details in the next days. So you will not have to wait a long time to get some detailed info about the A1 II and 20X70, and possibly even if there's some kind of other surprise, which at this point I think is not likely, but you never know. So definitely subscribe, hit the notification button to not miss any of the upcoming videos. Again, if you have any rumor to share, contact me here, and I'm very happy. Then I will try to verify the info I get and double check it, triple check it, so that I can be as reliable as possible. And that's about it for today. So thanks for being here, thanks for your questions, and thanks for your feedback on everything I do. And now I'm moving back my butt to the family of my wife. They're already in the bar nearby called Seesicht here in Antwerp on the Dageradsplatz. They're waiting for me, so I'm going there, and hopefully by the time I come back, I already have some new rumors that I can work on, so that I can share more details tomorrow, after tomorrow, and the next days. Okay, folks, that's it for today. See you soon.